Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that was created for a client that had very elevated levels of anxiety and an overactive sympathetic nervous system. This is the part of the nervous system that is in this fight or flight response. And this particular client that I was working with actually was using an element of high-level manifestation to think of the ideal relationship that they would want. However, in their childhood, they felt at a very intense level that they were abandoned by certain family members at a young age. So working with this client, it was highly likely that there was a protective part. And the other clue of this protective part that the client was saying that they were hearing in a dialogue that was stated like a third person. It was saying you rather than I. And that combination of these things led me to believe that this particular client had a part, some people would call that an ego state, a resource state, an inner child, or just a conflicted part that was trying to keep them safe from something connected to what a relationship would represent. And that could be fear of the loss of that relationship, fear of rejection, betrayal, or indeed the part feeling like they would be neglected or be replaced by someone else. So in this particular session, what you're going to hear is not direct parts negotiation therapy, but an element to start communicating with this part, to build rapport with this part, and to make that part, as well as the overall client I was working with, feel safe. A lot of the sympathetic nervous system is a reaction to feeling unsafe and vulnerable. And therefore, a lot of these suggestions are linked to this idea of feeling protected, loved, and safe so that the whole nervous system can calm down. But I wanted to do this knowing that the next session with the client would be probably parts negotiation or parts integration therapy, was to start building channels of communication with this particular part. I would say this is going to be very, very useful for anyone that feels like they are in a heightened state of anxiety and that it is caused by some kind of conflict or inner turmoil within them, in which case you would benefit more from this session than just the average person. It was a particular client that I was working with, therefore the inner child is stated in the she gender rather than a neutral gender. And it's worth me kind of echoing or doubling down on this, that almost all the client sessions that I do, that I share, I'm working with a client, but then confidentially sharing that session. So you'll never know who the client I'm working with is, but I am sharing my words, my hypnosis that connected to that client. And that means that sometimes I'll get comments on YouTube or Spotify that say, oh, why is this mentioned? Because that doesn't apply to me. And you're right, it doesn't, but it did apply to the client that I was working with. So if you feel that some of these sessions that you listen to aren't quite right for you, well, there's two things you can do. One, you can search around about 1,700 episodes that I've published and find the right one that does feel like a better fit. What some people choose to do, though, is work with me directly, and there will be a link in the description where I've got free resources available, but one of those resources is to schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. And then you would know that you're going to be working with me directly, and then the session is 100% calibrated and customized for you, rather than a recording which is customized for the original client that I was working with. So if that appeals to you, have a look in the description. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that calm, relaxed feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to breathe out, but continue to breathe out beyond your normal breath, almost taking 2 or 3 exhales, breathing out so much and even holding that outward breath. So as you breathe in, you slowly start to activate your diaphragm. And as your diaphragm starts to expand, your breathing gets deeper and longer. And I want you to think of the most calming color, the most soothing color. And just imagine breathing in that color. Make it glow. Make it feel like a blanket for your soul and your nervous system. Warm, safe, and cozy. Breathing in that color of calm. And as you exhale, just imagine a color that represents anxiety. Maybe something dark or intense. And as you exhale, just imagine on your outward breath, that color of anxiety is leaving your body. Breathing in calm and breathing out anxiety. That's it. Each breath means you're feeling more and more calm. And each exhale releases more and more anxiety. And maybe you could imagine one of those old-fashioned scales. And just imagine they're weighted. Too much anxiety and not enough calm. But each time you breathe in that color of calm, the scales start to shift like a child's seesaw in a park. We're tipping the balance, exhaling anxiety and breathing in calm, so that each breath takes you even deeper relaxed. That's it. And maybe you can see those scales shifting, that seesaw balancing and tipping. Or maybe you could imagine what was that intense color of anxiety within. So much of it has left your body in your outward breath. You can now imagine more of that calm color within. Imagine breathing in that color of calm, and imagine that color of calm in your lungs, your heart taking that color of calm and distributing it to every cell in your body. And you'll know where you've been feeling more of that anxiety. For some people, it's there in the gut, the second brain. But sometimes it might be in the head, the chest, the neck, or the shoulders. But think about where anxiety has mainly been residing for you. And as you breathe in that color of calm, see more of that color in that location that anxiety used to reside. And continue to breathe out that color of anxiety. Each breath taking you deeper and deeper relaxed, more and more calm. And don't be surprised if you can loosen those muscles in your neck or your shoulders, your jaw. The breathing feels more and more relaxed and deeper. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed you become, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. All parts of your imagination. And I wonder if there's a part within you that could imagine somewhere safe. A home, perhaps, either in your reality or a different one. From your past or even fictional. I wonder if you could imagine the safest, most loving home. And if you could imagine somewhere like that, just imagine floating to that place at any age that feels useful. Maybe your current age, but maybe as a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, or a 6-year-old. Just float back towards that safe, loving family home. And then within that home, I want you to imagine a bedroom. The safest, most loving bedroom with clues of family and love. And maybe that's pictures. Maybe that's even the way that room is decorated. The kind of thing that would have required effort and love and consideration. I want you to think of a place that would be paradise. Perhaps for that childlike version of you to feel safe. And maybe you could just know that there are other people in different rooms. You are not alone in this home. But you feel safe in that room. And then just imagine the most comfortable bed. A cozy, warm, safe bed. And I want you to imagine snuggling on that bed the way a child would, with the expression they would have if they were safe and loved. And maybe there's clues of things that would allude to safety. Maybe it's the type of building you know you're in, the type of location you're in, or the kind of people that are there to protect, to love, or to care. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to find the most comfortable position on that bed, feeling safe, feeling loved, feeling protected. That's it. And maybe you can imagine your head on a pillow, a duvet or covers over you, and just feel how good it feels to completely relax there. That's it. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each descending number, I want you to think about relaxing a part of your body to take you even deeper relaxed. 10, just releasing any tension in your forehead. That's it, breathing in that color of calm and just releasing any tension. That's it, 9. Just loosening your jaw. Feeling like any tension around your jaw or your cheeks is just melting away. That's it, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. And then 8. Think about your breathing. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, but just feel like your body's doing the work for you. You don't have to force a breath, just allow your body to breathe. Continuing to breathe in that calm and exhaling any tension or anxiety. And then 7, just focus on your neck and your shoulders. And sometimes when there's been too much cortisol or adrenaline, those muscles around the neck and the shoulders could be tense and tight, and just imagine it's safe now to release that tension. Sometimes when people are anxious, they unconsciously have that brace position. But you don't need that brace position. So give permission to let go of that tension that's been keeping you stiff or tight. That's it, just release it now. And then 6. Feel that relaxation spreading down your arms. Arms feeling limp, loose and heavy. Almost like the limbs of a puppet with no strings. That's it, more and more relaxed. And then imagine your internal organs starting to relax, your lungs, your heart, even your stomach. Just imagine it all relaxing. As it feels like we're dialing down any anxiety. Anxiety is good if there's a threat, but you are safe. Here, now. So dial down all of that anxiety. You don't need it. Because when anxiety is dialed down, your body can naturally prioritize healing. When anxiety is high, everything outside of immediate survival is deprioritized. But you're safe now. You are safe. And as you dial down that anxiety, you are now prioritizing recuperation, rejuvenation, sleep and recovery. And imagine that happening. Imagine the healing happening to all of your internal organs. And 5 shifts to 4, and now focus on your gut. And I want you to imagine your intestines like an old garden hose. Old, knotted, filled with holes. But I want you to imagine that now that you've dialed down anxiety, the healing is taking place in your gut. Your biome is enhancing. All of those probiotics are healing your gut, and just imagine that old, twisted, leaky hose turning into a brand new garden hose. Imagine your gut healing, it's healthy. And because it's healthy, you can let go of any anxiety there in the gut. And the combination of that healed gut, that wonderful biome filled with the right bacteria, means that you are awakening your second brain. And this second brain, your intuition, knows at your very core that you are safe. Your reaction wasn't to a reality, it was to a possibility. So we can calm down everything now. Your decisions will decide your future. And the safer you feel, the better your decisions become. Nobody makes great decisions when they're scared. That's it, just feel any anxiety, any twisting or knotted sensations there in the gut, just evaporating, just diluting and melting away. And 4 becomes 3, that starts to shift down into your legs. Initially the top of your legs, as 3 becomes 2, now your calf muscles. And just allow your legs to feel limp, loose, and heavy. Now your arms, like your legs, are like that puppet with no strings, just so relaxed now. That's it. And then 2 becomes 1. Just feel that relaxation even in your ankle, your toes. Feel that sensation of, that's it, deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to imagine drifting off into a dreamlike sleep. And I want you to awaken that childlike version of you. And I know she's listening. And I want to thank her because she is precious, valuable, diligent, working so hard to keep you safe. And that part within you has sometimes felt neglected, but it's working tirelessly for you. And I want to thank her for her wonderful intention. That's it. And that part that has these wonderful intentions has all of that tenacity. Deep down just wants what you want. Love, connection, to feel important. And that part within you will never be shut away. That part within you will never be rejected or hidden, will never be suppressed. That part is safe. That part will always be loved. But sometimes you can have two parts pulling in different directions. And sometimes what we think is anxiety is just the tension coming from pulling in different directions. And I know that part cares for you deeply. It's trying to protect you. And that part will only take you to that place where it's good for you and good for them when they both feel happy, when they both feel safe. And sometimes the world is a scary place. And sometimes there's things that feel emotionally painful. And the obvious thing to do is to try and avoid those things. But that part is a wonderful part. She doesn't need telling off. or reprimanding or being ignored. She wants to work with you. And sometimes the intuition knows more than we think. And what seems like sabotage is just the power of the intuition using creative strategies to keep safety and protection. And I want you to tell that part you will never abandon her. I want you to tell that part that you will always listen. And she knows and you know it doesn't have to be win or lose. Sometimes it's about finding what's good for that part and good for you. A new destination. A destination that gives you the love that you desire and gives that precious part within you the safety and reassurance that they desire. And we don't have to figure out what that future is. Just be open to the possibility that it exists. And I want you to imagine a rose in a beautiful garden. And I want you to imagine you give this rose a name. Maybe you call it Rosie or Rosie. But just imagine a precious rose. You decide the color of the petals. And I want you to see how fragile and delicate those petals are, but also how sharp those thorns are on the stem. And what if what you thought was sabotage, what you thought was somehow something bad, even the anxiety, could be to protect what is precious and fragile? And I want you to get a sense that those thorns have been built up over years, designed to keep you safe, to keep her safe. And what if you considered something so perfect that that rose felt that it was going to be neglected, and you were going to see something even more perfect than that rose? And I want you to reassure that part that even if you find what you consider true love, that does not take away the love you have for that fragile, beautiful, delicate rose. And I also want you to reassure this part. It is not about one or the other. I want you to reassure that part that the only thing you're interested in is something that is good for you and good for them. Because otherwise, that part could feel rejected even if that wasn't your intention. Could feel abandoned even if it wasn't your intention. But that isn't true. And I want you to give that part all of the reassurance it needs. Like a cozy, warm blanket Give that part all of the reassurance. The blanket, the hug, the cuddles. Even imagine just stroking their skin and just soothing that part until they feel safe, listened to, and reassured. I just notice the physical changes in your body that as you reassure that part, your whole nervous system seems to calm down. That tension and anxiety can melt away. What if that part felt that it had influence for years and years and then wasn't going to be listened to? So you can reassure that part. That part is not an enemy. It's not a saboteur. This part is your confidant, your cheerleader. This is a part that will help protect you in new ways, even if we don't know what those new ways are yet. And I want you to ask that part if it's happy to help you to find a future way forward that gives you the love that you desire while keeping all parts of you safe. Would it be open to that possibility? And if that part agrees, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And smile at that part. Tell that part that they are precious, they are loved, they are so important. Tell that part that you respect how badly they want to keep you safe. But also tell that part that anxiety leads to worse decisions. And worse decisions increase the possibility of being less safe, and you need the help of that part to dull down the anxiety so that better decisions can be made. Decisions that lead to love and safety, not either or. And I want you to see the look on that part's face. They're given more responsibility, more influence. And if you can see that part smiling, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to thank that part. Not just for the past, but for the future. Because the more resourceful you are, the better able you are to make great decisions. And the better your decisions, the more love and safety you have in your future. This part was never an enemy, always an ally. But sometimes the people that love you the most will do the most to try and protect you. And you can even thank that part for that. Because that's all they've been doing. Trying to keep you safe. And I want you to feel a new bond being created. Not win or lose. Not my way or the highway. But a partnership, a dream team. And I want you to ask that part, honestly, if it can help you more if you're anxious or if you're feeling resourceful. And if that part believes that it can help you more if you're both resourceful, and resourceful might be sky-high confidence, self-esteem, amazing sleep, and low anxiety. In that place, perhaps it's easier to manifest what you truly desire because it comes from alignment, not conflict. Everyone knows that when you're desperate for something, it can repel it. But if you can desire something, be open to it, sometimes that can be a powerful magnet. So ask that part. Can it help you more from a place of resourcefulness or anxiety? And if it can help you more from that resourceful place, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And hug that part. Call that part by its name. Feel connected to that part. It's been helping you all this time, but sometimes it didn't feel like help. But what if it can truly help you at a whole new level now? Instead of you going in one direction and this part going into a different, what if for the first time, perhaps in years, you get to go to the same place and ask that part if you could agree on that same place? Then before, what felt like sabotage would now feel like help. And ask if it's okay with that idea, even if you don't know what that place is yet. But just being open to moving in the same direction. You need an ally, not an enemy. And just notice that the possibility of that place, that same direction that you're moving to, empowers this part. It doesn't have to use intrusive thoughts. It doesn't have to use sabotaging something valuable. Because when that part and you want the same thing, you turn a tug of war pulling in different directions into a three-legged race where you're moving in the same direction. So the happier that part is, the happier you are, and the happier you are, the happier that is. But most of all, tell that part they are safe, they are loved, and now more than ever before, they are listened to. Isn't it true that every child that is ignored, they either raise their voice or throw a tantrum? They crave the attention. They need to be listened to. One of the cruelest things you can do to a child is pretend to be invisible. You don't see them, you don't hear them. So tell this part you see them, you hear them, they matter. And maybe they open up. And I want you to ask this part its positive intention, what it's been trying to do for you all this time. And when it tells you, just let me know by nodding your head. maybe just ask this part if it does have a positive intention. You don't need to know it right now, but just you believe deep down that it has. And it doesn't matter to you if it's protection, safety, love, or something else. But I want you to thank that part for its positive intention, even if you don't know what that positive intention is yet. You can validate it is doing something positive for you without knowing the details. And I want you to tell that part that whatever you do going forward, you will listen to them. You will take their input into this future so that it's safe for you and safe for them. And then I want you to imagine holding the hand of this part and doing something together that feels like harmony or connection, that feels like trust or recognition. Maybe that's play, or something creative, or something else to make this part feel you are a team in harmony, not opposing forces in conflict. I want you to hug this part and tell them that whatever they have to say, you will listen. They are loved, they are listened to. And thank them for helping you dial down all of that anxiety. They are safe, you are safe. Everyone is safe. Don't be surprised in the next few days if you find yourself sleeping for deeper and longer, finding it easier to relax. And I want you to know for certain that whenever you go to sleep, this part is with you. You are never alone, because this part is with you and you are with them. So you don't need the help of friends or family members, because you are with them and they are with you. And if that part feels that, acknowledges that, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. So give them one last hug and tell them you'll be back. And then imagine finding yourself there in that dreamlike sleep, in that safe, loving family home, awakening from a dreamlike sleep within your imagination. And then imagine floating from that place all the way back to the here and the now. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Start to connect and calibrate into the here and the now. Feeling a healed relationship with such a precious part within you. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.